Welcome back. We are going to be doing some more weaving today, but we're going to transition from the plant world to the animal world with these adorable owls here today. So let's figure out what we need for supplies. We are going to need our colorful construction paper, so choose a color that you think is going to work best for your owl's body, and we're also going to want white paper as well. We're going to need our permanent marker, our glue stick, and then those strips of paper that we've been, using from 2 class periods ago. We're going to need those too. We're also going to need scissors and a pencil. So ready, set, and let's begin. If at any point this video goes too fast, feel free to pause, rewind, and watch as needed. I've got my paper portrait style, up and down. Now I'm going to be using my permanent marker for this step just because it's easier to see on the camera than pencil, but you can use pencil, that way you can erase it if any mistakes are made. So I'm going to start off, I want to use my full sheet of paper, so I'm starting off way at the tippy top with a U shape. So that's kind of a small U, right? Now watch this. This next U that we're going to make, it's going to go from all the way from the very top to side, almost all the way to the bottom. Really big U shape coming here, and then it's going to meet back at that point, just like that. Woo! If there's one thing we've been learning over the last week, it's that in order to do our weaving, we're going to need some strips that we cut down the middle, right? These are going to be vertical ones, and we need 4 in total. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I bet you know the next step. Time to cut it out. Here we go. Cut at your own pace. Feel free to pause if needed. There we go. This is going to be the ear section of our owl. That small U. And then around that other side. You're probably wondering, where are the owl's wings, Mrs. Stinson? We see the body. Where's the rest of it? Well, we are going to be making those wings next. In order to do so, though, we're going to need to cut these slits. And you remember this, right? We're going to do a light fold. And we do a snip on each of those lines. I need to adjust as needed. There we go. Now that I've got that little snip, I should be able to put my scissors in there and cut all the way to the edge of each of them. And of course I'm going to need to turn it around and get to the bottom edge as well. I'll do that once I finish this top edge. There we go. So now I'm going to flip it upside down, and let's get to the other side. There we go. 2 more to go on my end. Keep working at your own pace on your end too. And there we have it. So you can see those are all cut up. All right. As of this moment, you probably have 2 different colors of strips of paper. I have a whole bunch. Let's be honest. I have a whole bunch of classes, so I have a whole bunch of different colors. If you decide that you want more than just the colors that you have, feel free to pause at this point and cut out some more strips. That's okay as well. Okay, so I'm going to pick out, I'm going to do green and orange, and I think I'm going to do yellow. You might be able to fit more, but I think I'm only going to be able to fit 3. Okay, so one thing that's going to be different than the last few days we've been doing this is we're not going to glue it down. Not yet anyway, we will later. I'm going to start on the top side. I'm going to go ahead and begin that weaving process. So from over to under, from under to over, over to under, and one last one from under back to over. So if you have 4 lines, you should end on the same, if you started over, you should end over, which is what we want. So I'm going to make sure this is even, right? We don't want it to be off to one side or the other, so make sure it's even as best you can before you take your glue stick. And we're just going to give a little bit of glue, like so, on both sides, just to help hold that in place. Notice how I'm leaving a little, that's a little off too, isn't it? Let me just pull it over a little bit more so it's even. Okay, there we go. And notice how I'm leaving the tail today. Normally we've been cutting that off. Today I'm not going to. I'll show you why in just a bit. Wherever we started this one, we want to do the opposite for the next one. So I'm going to start from the back side. And I'm going to cruise along with our weaving here, just so that the video is not too long. But of course, move at your own pace and pause as needed. So once we're done with that next row, same thing. Make sure it's centered, and then go ahead and give some glue on each side to help hold that in place. And we will do that one final time, once again alternating. So whatever you did the first time, you're going to be doing that again for this third one. So I'm starting from the front on mine. Oop, and that's not wanting to come through. So we'll do the turnaround thing. And we're going with our over, under weaving pattern. There we go. All right, making sure that that's centered. Give it a bit of glue here, a bit of glue there. And you're probably still wondering, this doesn't really look like wings yet, does it? Well, what we're going to do next is we're going to cut our wings on kind of a curved bias, like you see here. A little sneak peek on what it's going to look like. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to kind of cut, curving each one as it goes up to the top one, kind of giving it that wing type look. And I want to do the same thing on the other side. For me, I'm going to start at the top this time just because it's more natural. I'm right-handed, so it's a little more natural for my wrist to be able to turn in this direction. Okay? But that's going to give us our wings. How cute, right? Get rid of those scraps. And now, remember how I said we need a white piece of paper? Go ahead and fold your white piece of paper in half. And we want to cut out a nice, big, round circle. Now, since our paper is folded in half, we get actually a 2-for-1 deal by doing this. We're cutting out one eye, but we're getting 2. So there we go. Let's go ahead and glue those down. Nice amount right up to the edges there. And we'll glue that down up here. Same with this one. Glue that down all the way to those edges. There we go. Beautiful. If you want to, you can take your permanent marker and give it some cute little eyeballs too. So maybe it's looking off to the side like this. I often like to leave a little bit of a highlight inside, so I'll make another circle. I'm going to leave that inner circle white, so that's going to be like the highlight of my owl's eyes. Now another thing you could do, if at home you have googly eyes, you could also put those inside. That would look kind of funny, right? Googly eyes are one of my favorite crafting things. There we go. I would say the last thing that we want to make sure we have on here is a little beak too. So find any color of scrap paper that you think would work well for a beak. Let's see if I've got any. Oh, here we go. I've got an orange. So I'm going to use that. I'm just going to fold my paper in half. And then do you see where that fold is? Do you see how it's joined there? I'm going to cut. Now yours doesn't have to be orange either, just as a heads up. I'm going to take it on that folded part and I'm going to cut a triangle. like that. And check it out, we've got our beak. Now feel free to add anything else you want as well. If you want to add some feet, you want to add something to the ears, you want to add eyelashes, you go ahead and add your creativity to this. I cannot wait to see it. Make sure to add that photo into our Art Hall of Fame, and I will see you next time.